Imagine this. You have 2 minutes left. You are the first team to score in the second half on the Detroit Lions in 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks, Detroit has not given up a point in the second half. Somehow you've scored 20 on their defense. You have the ball, 2 minutes remaining, and you're 60 yards away from a Thanksgiving Day win. You're about 30 yards away from at least a tie. And I say at least a tie because, as I said, you're 60 yards away from Hallelujah Land. And all you have to do is just be a competent offense and you win the game. You do the impossible and you beat the Lions at home. Unless you are indeed the Bears. This is Snowman's take. I don't believe what the fuck I just saw. I don't believe it. You mean to tell me that the Bears botched that 2 minute offense that badly that your last play of the game, your last play, winds up being a Hail Mary? Really? What did what? What did what who ran this offense? Matt Uberfools, that's who. That was I've watched football for 4.5 decades. I have seen my share of stupidity. I have seen my share of foolishness when it comes to football and when it comes to the final 2 minutes. I've seen it all. I have never, ever in my life, in 4.5 decades of watching football, saw that. I don't even know where to begin. Yes, Victor, the Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy is quite real and quite stupid. Now, I've heard people say to me, you can't judge Caleb Williams because it's his rookie year and you don't know if he's going to be a bust or not. Oh, yeah, I say he's a bust. Many reasons I'll get into, and I might do a special show tomorrow. Don't know. Haven't figured it out yet. We're in the process of expanding the show. All kinds of stuff that I'll talk about here later. I'll start with this. Every coach on that sideline needs to go. Every coach on that Bears sideline, or what they call a coaching staff, needs to go. They need to go. You can't tell me that you're that inept as an organization and as a team that you're going to let that opportunity pass you by, where you got a chance to come all the way back and win this game, and you didn't do it. Wife and I were driving home from Thanksgiving. Didn't see the last 2 minutes. I mean, the Bears made it 23-20. My wife was surprised and she says, "Oh, the Bears scored a touchdown." I said, "They scored two of them." She says, "What?" I said, "Yeah, they actually scored two touchdowns." Man, the Detroit Lions, the 11-1 Detroit Lions, champions of the Central, I still call it the NFC Central, were handing the Bears this game on a silver platter. They clearly, anyone who watched this game with any kind of a critical eye, saw that the Lions were taking their foot off the pedal. Why? Because for some dumbass reason, they were feeling sorry for the Chicago Bears. And I'll get to the Lions tomorrow, because that should have been a blowout. Today, it's all about the final 2 minutes. It's the stupidest 2-minute drive I've ever seen in my life. And this is a Bears team that survived a sack, an offensive pass interference. They had to do fourth down 3 separate times. And RC just said it. Give the Bears an out to a loss and they'll figure it out. They figured it out today because they were handed this game on a silver platter. They had 2 minutes to get 30 yards and get a field goal at the very least. They had 2 minutes to go 60 yards into Hallelujah Land and walk off against the number one team in the NFC. And they botched it so badly that I had to call Victor after I watched the final 2 minutes, and my exact words to him to open the call when he greeted me was, "What the fuck was that?" This is one reason why I say Caleb Williams is a complete bust. I'll start with the final play and work backwards. You take a sack. Point one, you take a sack. Point two, you had a chance to get rid of the football, not take a sack, and keep your team as close as it is to a field goal attempt. And you didn't do it. Three, after you take the sack, you have no sense of urgency. None. There is no sense of urgency on this Bears team. And this proved it. I mean, I swear I saw Caleb look up and there's 16 seconds left, and now he's trying to get his team back to the line. They were just lollygagging and lolly-da-di-da-di-da back to the line, not knowing the clock was running. The clock was running. Anybody who knows college football history, all I can tell you is look up Georgia Auburn 1992. Look up the final play, and you'll see why I'm emphasizing the clock was running. They had a timeout in their back pocket and let 43 seconds run off the clock. You had 120 seconds to get downfield. You had a short field to work with. And in 2 minutes, you let the game slip away and you have nothing to show for it. Nothing. What do we say on the show? Nuff and ing. Matt Eberflus or Matt Uberfools. Matt Uberfools should be directed to find his own way home, and when he gets home, clean out his office. Whoever the hell the offensive coordinator is, you need to go too. I know you're a replacement, but you allowed that to happen. You allowed that to happen. I mentioned earlier, they survived 2 4th downs. 4th and 4, they get a first down. Had to come back because of OPI, offensive pass interference. Then you get a bogus penalty against Detroit for defensive pass interference. You have the ball outside of the red zone. Here's my question. Why didn't you take a knee, let the clock run? Let the clock run all the way down. You get it to the spot where you know your kicker can make it and didn't do that. You had the ball a couple of yards out of the red zone. Instead, the clock runs out and your last play is dependent on DJ Moore. Really? Really? As I've told Bear fans to their face through here and through other mediums, you have now mortgaged, risked, and with that contract extension, doubled down your entire future for DJ Moore. Now, he actually had a great second half, okay? Caleb and DJ were clicking in the second half. That's the thing. The offense was clicking in the second half. Why didn't you stick with what worked? Especially when you only had 60 yards to navigate. 60. You were at your own 40-yard line, okay? 30 to 40 yards, you have a chip shot field goal to tie the game. Okay? You have a chip shot field goal to tie the game. And you didn't even get that. RC, I'm going to make a declaration that a lot of members of the Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy will not like at all, but I don't care. I've seen my share of quarterbacks come and go, drafted, free agents, what the hell ever. Caleb Williams is ruined. There's not a team in the NFL that can pluck him away and save him. Not a team in the NFL that can pluck him away and save him. Not one. Not one. That was the stupidest clock management situation I have ever seen in my life. Ever. You survive a sack, an OPI, offensive pass interference. You get a gift of a DPI, defensive pass interference, against Detroit to get you close to the red zone. And your last play of the game, because of a second sack that you took on that drive, hi, Pumpkin, has to come from your own territory, and it's got to go to the end zone because you don't have the smarts to use your final timeout. I mean, hell, you had 2 timeouts. You could have run the ball. because Detroit couldn't stop the run in the second half. Detroit could not stop the run in the second half. And yet you choose to lean on Caleb Williams? You choose to lean on a guy that is such a bust? I said it. He's a bust. Happy Thanksgiving, Ari. Thanks for stopping by. If y'all like the content, be sure and drop us a cash app to Tallman Dr. Dollar sign Tallman Dr. K50 because there's more of this. And tomorrow I'm going to jettison my half day off for Colorado and Oklahoma State at noon. First of all, where do I be? I know I've asked this already and I've already broken this down, but those 2 minutes can describe the Chicago Bears for the last 40 seasons between blowing up Soldier Field and turning it into a spaceship, between ruining Jim McMahon or letting Jim McMahon be ruined, between sucking so badly you had to fire two of the best coaches you've ever had, Mike Ditka and Lovie Smith. And now you put this team around your supposed franchise quarterback. What in the hell are you trying to do? Caleb Williams is done. Finito in the sun. Finished. Ruined. And thank you, Accountable Commentary, for that phrase. Finito in the sun. You're done out here. Caleb Williams' tools, whatever tools he had, were left in Norman, Oklahoma, when one game got him drafted. One. And that was the comeback against Texas in the Red River Shootout when they were down 28-7, and suddenly they're winning 51-48. Stop it. He doesn't. I love you dearly, but he does not have the pieces around him. You're actually going to depend on DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Well, I'll give you Roma Dunze. I'll give you Roma Dunze. But as far as everything else goes, they're mismanaging, misusing, and they are just letting them rot. The Bears are rotting before our very eyes. I'll give you Roma Dunze and DeAndre Swift. And what did I tell you, Victor? What was I afraid of? My wife and I were talking about this today at dinner. And I love the way she broke down how the 53-man roster works. According to Dr. K, and there's a lot of merit to this, you got 40 players that get all the rotation time. The other 13 are like a practice squad on the active squad. Then you got a practice squad under that. Look, you got to go, Punkin. The Bears are a mess. I don't know who's the bigger mess, the Bears or the Jets. And the Jets certainly don't know what the hell they're doing. The Bears don't know what the hell they're doing. And Damian Hernandez, you're right. The McCaskies have got to go ASAP. Here's the problem. They're the owners and they ain't going anywhere. They got to get rid of, how does Commissioner put it? That witch, Virginia McCaskey. And her greedy ass isn't going anywhere. What you saw If you watch the final 2 minutes live, I watched it on replay. What you saw was the Chicago Bears in microcosm since 1986. I don't count 2006 because they lost a Super Bowl that was winnable. Because I've never seen a drive like that. Even the I would say even the Cowboys aren't that bad, but that's a lie because the Cowboys are that bad. Matter of fact, they're worse. And my son just arrived with a bunch of food. Okay. I've seen it all now with the Chicago Bears. And I can't stand the Chicago Bears. I've never been able to stand the Chicago Bears. Victor, Dakota, to answer your question. Damien, the Bears aren't the New York Knicks of the NFL. They're the Brooklyn mess of the NFL. If that tells you something. I can't. You got more stuff? Okay. No, the Bears aren't the Expos because at least the Expos, before the greed got to Major League Baseball, was having a winning season. That's the stupidest 2 minute drive I've ever seen in my life. No. Mess, Hernandez. Brooklyn Mess. Mess. And the Brooklyn Mess will never win a championship. Shut up. My, my son says, want to bet? He and my family all up picking on me when I'm online going off on something. But if y'all expect the Bears to win a Super Bowl the way they're constructed right now, not gonna happen. It's gonna require a miracle and a half. It's gonna require Jesus. It's gonna require a look in the mirror. And unfortunately for the Bears, they broke all their mirrors after 1986. Come here. Come here. That was my son. And I love when they do that. Anyway, dear Chicago Bears, y'all suck. And you're going to continue to suck unless you decide to blow up the organization and the people in it and start all over. And that includes getting rid of Caleb Williams. Because Caleb Williams is a bust. He sucks. He's terrible. And he shouldn't have been drafted. Should have told Caleb Williams, you got one more year. Use it. But since he didn't, and since the Bears believed in him, this is what you got. That's Snowman's take. What is yours?